Hello, hello everyone. AmyR here with Prairie Paper and Ink. Welcome back to my face and my card making space. And first off, big disclaimer, I am still fighting a rotten cold. So I sound crappy, I feel crappy, and yeah, it's all the unpaid intern's fault.
No.
It 100% is. He got it first, and then I got it, and I've just been miserable. So I'm feeling better than I was, hence me still going live. I was not going to. I thought about it. If I was still feeling as utterly atrocious as I was, because at night it always gets worse. Ugh. But yeah, got up this morning and I was like, I can do this. I want to do this. So hello to everyone. And then again, like I said in the chat before we started, just let's see if we can do a live with the cameras working and just man, I'm tired of the tech issues, literally. I feel like crap, but I'm done. I'm done with the tech issues. But yes, I did. That's where it stays, man. Most of my clothing does not have pockets. Although the couple of items, specifically like this hoodie and the sweatpants I'm wearing, these sweatpants actually have pockets. Novel idea. Don't even get me started on the patriarchy and the fact that most women's clothing doesn't have pockets. So I stick my phone in my bra. Done it for years. It's fine. I used to get the most crazy conspiracy theories about that back in the day. It's a good pocket, man. Like, it's just what I do. So anyway. But yeah, so I may have to take many random little breaks to just like blow my nose or whatever. Because again, like even when I'm feeling good, the minute you start going live and I'm like looking down, like my nose starts to run. It's a thing. It's a thing. But yeah, I think we'll be good. I love it. Get your snacks. I do plan on making a card. I kind of dithered between doing that or just mucking around doing whatever. But I have a card idea. So we're gonna make a card. And for those watching live, I do have the link to the form in the description box below. You can put in your name and address. Today it's only going to be one card. Considering I shake my head at myself. Like last week, I did 3 cards. We had all the tech issues. We had to split the live into 2 parts. It was insanity, pure insanity. But we made it work. This time I'm like, I'm not going to tempt fate. Let's just do one card. Let's just do one. So yeah, you guys can put your name and address into the form below. And then like always, I linked it in the chat and it's linked below a visual supply list to what I plan on using. Because even though I'm not feeling good, my brain was just like coming up with ideas, all the things. So yeah. That was one of my most risque photos on Instagram. That was years ago.
It was.
It even got brought up when I was at Create last year. The lady was like, remember that time? I was like, yes, I remember. It's a good, if you use Nouveau, I don't really use them anymore. But things like Nouveau drops or even your adhesive, if it's chilly, shove them in your bra. It warms up body heat, man. It works. So I had taken a picture of that and posted it on my Instagram years ago. And yeah, the most risque picture ever. But yeah, there have been many times where I've had all kinds of random surprises because yeah, I use them like pockets. Like, so I've had money fall out of them, my phone, my little earpod case. Like, it just surprises. Who knows? The worst actually though, and I think I can't remember if we were together, if it was before you. I had the craziest rash. I did, and it was perfectly circular, and it was because a quarter was in my bra. And quarters have like nickel content, high nickel and I'm allergic to nickel. Like it, but I was just like, oh no, like have I done like, is there something wrong with, like, do I have a health issue? And it was like, no, I had for some reason a quarter in my bra and gave me a rash. So I don't put money in there anymore, okay? And I only do that for like to get it from one place to another. I can't imagine like people going into a store and actually like pulling sweaty boob money out and like pay. No, I'm not that person, okay? But anyway, just randomness. Hello, Kath. Anyway, okay, so let me switch over to the overhead. There we go. Looks like everything's working. Yay. So I'm not like I'm not gonna do swatching or anything, but these did arrive. Oh, you know, the angels are singing. I haven't even opened them yet. I haven't had a job. Like, they just got here like 2 days ago. So I have links though, again, in the description box below the video. I have a link to my Distress Watercolor Pencil playlist. And in that, I have the video I did making the shavings into a palette, which I do plan on doing with these ones. I have not. I haven't even opened these yet, but I thought we would use some of them. So the palette is now finally complete, and we have all of the distress colors. Plus, I legit was so excited that they sell just these 2 open stock. I won't get into Scorched Timber. Tim explained all that. But you can get the picket fence and black soot. So glad, because of all of them, especially the picket fence is the one I have used the most. I have had to refill my little palette like multiple times. So, yeah. Grandma's purse ain't nobody going after it. Exactly. Like, when one of my littles was little, she had a little pretend, you know, a little play cell phone, and she always kept sticking it in her armpit, and I couldn't figure out why. And then I realized that's where she thought phones go, because I always had my phone in my bra, so she'd just stick it in her armpit. Monkey see, monkey do. So anyway, that still sticks in my head. Like, that toy was so annoying too. Had one of those really tinny voices, like, hello, you know, when you would like flip it open, and anyway, we now has all the beautiful Distress Watercolor pencils, and I've got the list. Everything's linked, blah, blah, blah. I think they're still on sale. I have a link to the sale category. No, like right below the video. Because Simon Says Stamp did have the bundle on sale. I think they're still on sale. So if you click on and check it out for me. I didn't check before I started, because whatevs. They are. You can get the big monster bundle of like all of them. It's on sale. And then the bundle of the 3 with, I think, Scorched Timber, whatever. They're on sale. That's awesome. So anyway. Yeah. Hello to my people. Let's, yeah, I'm excited. I haven't decided yet. That's my only thing. I'll show it. Where's my, it's behind here. Oh, I got too much going on. So this is the original palette I did when the first 3 sets of distress pencils came out. It's been a couple years now, and I updated that original video. So again, this is linked in the playlist below, how I did this step by step. I did a whole video. So these are the original 36 colors. My only thing I haven't, and I probably am going to be that ridiculous, is I might chisel these out. I ordered extra palettes, but I kind of think I want to have them all in rainbow order. So I think I might be that person and just do 2 completely new palettes, but I don't want to waste any of this, so I'm probably going to like, yeah. Or like really soften it up and like scoop it out, or who knows what I'm going to do. It's going to be ridiculous and time consuming, and I just know I'm going to do it because I want them in rainbow order. I do. It's how and then I'm not sure what I'm going to do about the white. Because, yeah. The full Distress palette is 72 colors. Each of these holds 36, and technically Picket Fence is not part of the Distress palette. It's like its own individual thing. So, I don't know. We'll see. I might just use it, and I'm going to show actually just painting with these, like with a brush. I'll show that. And that's what I might do with the Picket Fence. I haven't had time, and again, fever dreams, and I haven't been feeling good, so it's like, But yeah, that's how I have that. And then my little swatch thing, again, I showed it in that video, and none of it's labeled. I'll do that when I do have the new one. I'll probably label everything, but whatever is all I have to say on that. Whatever, man. Just is what it is. So we now have all beautiful colors. Life is great. They're wonderful. They're delicious. They look amazing. No notes. So I just got to get there's like a little cover. I saved these. You know, because these would work as just little palettes. Like they're sturdy. So I kept them with the tins. I don't even use the tins, but same thing. I kept the tins, or no, I have the tins to keep the pencils in. So I think I just stuck these like in the lids because yeah, they're sturdy little dudes. So I just stuck them like that, and then that way I can access them. And again, Tim has done an entire video, two in fact, and I linked to them in the post that's linked in the Distress Palette video that I did. So highly recommend watching Tim Holtz videos. You get tons of ideas. I also highly recommend watching, because he was live yesterday demoing these and stuff, and he was in a very spicy mood. It was funny. Like, let's go back to when we were 5 and the difference between pencils and crayons. And I was like, yes, loved it. I lived for that. Anyway, okay, he does. He keeps the white separate and it just works for him. And that's possibly what I'm going to do, just so I can keep all the colors together. But I use the white a lot. Like a lot. I use picket fence because I like using these on craft more than anything. And like I've hit pan again, and I've refilled this a couple times with the shavings and redone it because I use it so much, but we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. So, anywho, we're gonna do some die cutting. We'll paint the little die cuts with the watercolor pencils. I have Distress watercolor cardstock. This is also on sale this month. I have that listed and linked below. Not just this one, but all of the Distress surfaces. So there's the watercolor cardstock, the heavy stocks, there's other surfaces, Yupo, etc. Link below. There's a coupon code. You can get 20% off. And when I'm using Distress products, I like using Distress watercolor paper. When I'm doing other stuff, I'll use other watercolor paper. But this was made to work with Distress product, you know? And if you are very particular about your cardstock being white, like your water, because most watercolor paper isn't white. That's just the nature of the fibers, etc. They actually have to add like more treatments to them to get them pure white. This is the whitest watercolor paper on the market that I've come across. So hopefully that makes sense. But this is what we're going to use. And where's my die cuts? They're here somewhere. I just decided not to reinvent the wheel. I'm going to use this again. I did this in a video the other day, and I love it. I love this wafer die. I love it so much. The Charming Daisy wafer die. And thank you. I'm not going to press my little thing because I think that's what broke it last week, showing my nail polish color, but it's in all my recent videos. There's that little pop-up that I do. So, yeah, we're going to die cut some daisies. And I just like using my scraps. Let's do 3 this time. Why not? Will this work? This might be too narrow. A little too narrow. So let's pull out that. And then I'll save these for other projects. Okay. Oh my goodness. And then, yeah. I don't think you can really, oh yeah, you can tell. All watercolor paper has a more textured side and a smooth side. For the most part, it does not matter, especially not for what I'm doing. I generally go to the smoother side just because more often than not, we're stamping on it, or especially if I'm stamping on it, I will go to the smoother side of the card. Like you to flip it over, do the smoother side. Or, yeah, if you want a more textured look, use the textured side. So, okay. Yeah, his live yesterday was fun. And it's just worth it. to watch Tim Holtz live, or at the bare minimum, if you don't watch it like live, watch it within about a day or so, because he'll go live on a Saturday. He does edit his lives. He cuts out, because there's like chatting in the beginning and chatting at the end, his little Tim talks. Worth catching those, because he removes those. I wish he wouldn't, honestly. Or I wish they would just compile them all into a video, because one, people need to hear it, but because he's doing what he's doing and like it's for marketing and brands and all the different things, he removes that. So you still get all the all the inspiration, all the info, everything, but I highly recommend trying to catch like the full live, because yeah, he's got a lot of gems, and when he's in a spicy mood, it's just pure entertainment. I love it. Because yeah, he knows what's up. Anyway, I'm distracting myself with all the things. Yay, I'm glad. Oh yeah, he gives so much inspiration. Like, I just sit there and I'm always planning, like, I'm gonna get all this work done while I watched him live, and then I'm just sitting there like this the entire time, like typing along in the chat, laughing, but we're just watching, because so many good ideas. Okay, let's die cut. Let's die cut all our pieces, because did I do this ahead of time? No. I wasn't feeling good. I was filming other stuff before I went live. But yeah, and especially with his product line, it's worth, like, his website, his YouTube channel, etc. Like, there's just tons of info. Like, if you're not sure about a specific, like, a Tim Holtz product, you're not sure what it works with or how it works, or, look it up. It's there. He's got videos on it. Oh, so much info. And then there'll be tons of inspiration, and then all his makers and all the things. So, yeah, I refer back to his videos quite often, because I'm like, oh, there was this one thing, go back to that video, find it. They've timestamped his videos too, so you can find like that specific technique, and I'm like, that's it. That's what it is. And yes, the plaid shirt thing, I got a kick out of that, but he wears button-ups for lives. He has live clothes. But that's because he wears a clip-on microphone. I've tried that. It doesn't work for me. I invested so much money. We all know. Like, you can't see it in this little circle anymore, thankfully, but we got Mike here. He was a spendy little investment after my microphone died during a live. This is why I complain about technology and all the things, because that's what happens. Sucks so much. There we go. So there's pieces for the first die cut. Oh, hello. Welcome, Amanda. Yes, right now we are live. Live from not New York.
Furthest place from, almost.
Yeah. Yeah. Because I'm sure I can't continue saying that one either, because I'm pretty sure that's a copyrighted phrase as well. Yeah. And they're also a brand that heavily protects their copyright, so I'm not going to say it. So anyway. But it's also not Saturday night, so. It's Sunday. On Sundays we go live. Okay. We're getting there. I'm feeling a little sluggish. I'm not feeling totally horrible. I'm just feeling like slow. Just in all ways. Like, my brain feels a little slower. For those that missed the beginning, I'm not feeling the greatest. I've been fighting a just rotten cold, thanks to the unpaid intern. I will say, even though it's his fault, he's been very nice. He's been helping take care of me and putting up with my unbelievable amounts of whining.
Only like a step up.
What, from my normal whining? Screw you. I am a delight. I am a delight. Do I have all the pieces? Yes. Okay. I'm like putting my little piles of pieces over there so I don't lose them. And then we'll die cut another one. Okay. Oh, the sound better be better. I went massive step up from the previous microphone to the very professional fancy one. Like I said, it was an investment, but I have struggled with sound, and I have purchased a ridiculous amount of microphones and lav mics and just so many things over the years. it is one of my biggest issues amongst everything. So anyway, there we go. Okay, so we got our little daisies. Let's get this out of the way for now. And then I'll just stick them to this. Sometimes this works. I don't like throwing them, even though it's satisfying. I've talked about this before. It works, but I usually just manage to throw my wafer dies and they'll go bing, and then I'm crawling around on the floor for the next 10 minutes trying to find the wafer die. So, yeah, not fun times, man. Let's get these guys. There we go. Out of their little home, and then we can watercolor. So, yeah. Oh, it's the Empress Mini plates. I use a big, and that it's linked. It's linked in the supplies. There's a visual supply list. It's linked in the chat. I use an Empress die cut machine. These are the mini plates. You don't need the Empress die cut machine comes with plates, but when I'm doing smaller die cuts, I use this dude. It's just easy. So, and yes, the magnet plates for the Empress are hefty. They are seriously solid. Okay, so I got my grip mat. We're just gonna stick my little die cuts onto here. It's just gonna hold things in place, because I like to die cut and then add color, whether it's watercolor, ink blending, whatever. Especially when it's a die set like this, where all the dies are connected. Like, you can't snip these apart. Like, that's just how this wafer die is. So I would rather die cut first, because otherwise I'm wasting like all this space if I was to, do a background or pieces or whatever. That's just what works for me. That's just what works for me. Tossing is a Kathy Z thing, isn't it? It is. She does it. She picked it up from I don't even know who. It's craft inception. We all get inspired by other people. But Kathy is, I would call her a pro at tossing her die cuts. She manages to do it quite well. When I do it, they're gone. They're gone. It's over. They're done. So I just don't. But I do get satisfied just like fling, kind of just whacking them on my work surface. Okay. So then we got our daisy pieces. Just gonna keep sticking them all down to this. There we go. Doesn't really matter what order these are in, because they're all just gonna get adhered one on top of each other anyway. Just do that, and then we got that, and that. So there's all our little pieces. And let's move that proper. There we go. There we go. Just like so. Okay. And then I need my little baby watercolor brush. And I keep a cloth. Just a random kitchen towel. Just like so. This is what I'll just wipe my brush off in between all of the things. That's adorable. That's funny. So yeah, okay. We're gonna do, I had already picked out, which one was I gonna use? No, it wasn't that set. I was gonna somewhat stick to one set, but also not. Okay, yeah, this one was Festive Berries, but I wanted this one. So set 6. So I'm using set 4, and then I'll probably use spun sugar as well, because that's just where my mind was at. But again, do not ask me to pick favorites, especially with distress colors. Need them all. Yep. Okay, I'm not gonna use that yet. So I prefer the palette. That's just how I like using them, because I can have, all the colors at once and not have to deal with like pencils. However, you can color directly. Again, watch Tim Holtz video. He explains all the things. I don't need to reinvent the wheel. However, since I haven't made my palette with all these new colors yet, I'm just gonna do this. That's it. Simple. 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 Just paint like so. So this one is Shabby Shutters. And of course my brush decides to be super, super wet, but that's generally what water brushes like to do. This is another reason why I like die cutting before I start doing any sort of, whether it's watercolor, ink blending, whatever it is I'm using to add color, because a lot of times it'll seep into if there's like piercing detail, like, you know, this has a little dots pierced in, and it'll like sink into those spots and give, you know, just a fun look to it. So yeah, and anybody can do this. Seriously, this is not a super advanced form of coloring by any means. This is pretty simple. So you just pick up the color, slap it on. And again, if you have watercolor pencils and you love them, do you need the distress watercolor pencils? No. But if you like the distress colors, that's the bonus, because a lot of the distress colors are pretty unique and are not, you won't find them in other products, that sort of a thing. Again, just it's personal preference. So did a little bit of that, and then I want to add another shade of green. So we're going to add Mowed Lawn. Oh, I'm so glad we got Mowed Lawn now. This is one of my favorite greens. Gosh, like look at that. Look how perfect that is. You know, it's just beautiful. Even with Shabby Shutters. Shabby Shutters is not a color I use very often. So this is kind of fun. Boop. So yeah. Yes, the form to fill out, it's in the description box. Just expand the description box under the video. All the info. Yeah, it's all there. And I did the form right this time, didn't I? Like it's accepting responses. Okay, yeah. I learned my lesson back in the day with that one. I have so many like reminders for all the things when I'm setting up a live, like in capital letters in my my notes apps, all the different things. It's like, don't do this. Remember to do this. Because you just don't know. Like, there's a lot. There's a lot behind the scenes. A lot of craziness. Anywho, let's add a little bit more of the Shabby Shutters. Just because we can. So yeah, no rhyme or reason, just kind of sticking it on and then letting it do its thing. There. That they're done. That was simple. They're nice. And yes, like Cass said, the pencils have so much pigment. These will last an insane amount of time. You know, let me show that. Let me show that. I'm gonna fall. My carrots. I need a bigger bone. Huh? You're not getting my carrots. Those are my carrots. Get your own carrots. Huh?
I'm gonna step in a frame and get one of the carrots.
They're my carrots. You can just cut me more later, I guess. Like.
The only thing I'm cutting is the cheese.
How about no? Okay. Okay, back to what I was doing. So these are my, now also, it's not like I use these like every day. I go in fits and bursts with everything I do. That's like, ADHD, man. You know, I'll do other types of watercoloring. I'm doing ink blending. I'll do Copic. I don't use these a lot. That said, I have used my little palette a fair bit, and I have refilled this at least once So I have, you know, sharpened these. You can see like I've started tearing the paper off of them, but like these came out 2 years ago now. No, a year and a half. I think it's been something like that. Hasn't been a full 2 years. It's been like a year and a half, whatever. But one like a set of these is gonna last you an immense long time. Like unless you are doing like massive amounts of watercolor. Yeah, I would love to see hear if anyone's actually used up one of these. And again, my only one, even picket fence that I use so much. Look at that. Like, and I've sharpened that dude. Yeah, like it looks so good sharpened. Oh, they're so smooth. I have a link to all the things again. The sharpener, all the things that are recommended. So yeah, these last. Yes, I do. I highly recommend. Chris, you can link to it. I'm pretty sure I linked to it in the description. The Prismacolor pencil sharpener. Um, did I put that in there?
Yep.
Yep. Did. Chris will link to it. It's linked. That one that's the one I recommend. It's the one Tim Holtz recommends, but I think I already had it before he recommended it. It is one of the best ones. You do not want to use. Excuse me. Oh yeah. That one. Wonderful. There we go. Actually, if you can grab it, it's kind of behind you. Behind, no. Look where I'm pointing. Where the Samson thing is? No, low. Behind that, in that cubby, it'll be right in front. It will be that pencil sharpener. Yep. There we go. No, not that one. It's the Prismacolor one. Oh, is it not in there? Ooh, where did my pencil sharpener go? Nope, don't drop them on the floor. Oh no, I'm gonna have to find my pencil sharpener. It says Prismacolor right on it. Anyway, it's that's the one I recommend. There's no other ones? Great. I'm gonna. Oh, there it is. That's the one. This is the holy grail. Yeah, this one. This is the pencil sharpener I highly recommend because it's got two options for two different sizes of tips. Like you can have a more blunt tip or a very long, which the other ones were long fine tip, and then the top pops off. I keep mine clean because I take the shavings and I stick them into a palette. But yeah, this is a good pencil sharpener, and I am OCD about pencil sharpeners. I've had many over the years. This is one of the best ones, and it works. It just works with these pencils. So that's my thing. Yeah, sharp enough to poke an eye out. Yeah, like you saw my other ones that I've used. They are super sharp. Okay, let's get back to what we were doing. Spun sugar. Again, I'm in a pink mood. This card is going to be kind of, again, sort of Valentine's adjacent. And yeah, we'll just see. We'll just see how this goes. So we'll just start with this. It's going to be very light first, but I'm going to add a couple other ones on top of this. I'm so glad we have all the colors now. Did we need them? Not really, but so glad that they decided to do it. Because when it comes to distress, one needs all the colors, in my opinion. So yeah. Yeah, well, I don't clean it. Again, watch that video. It's linked in the playlist, and I show exactly what I do. I just use a fan brush, and I brush it out in between colors. It's fine. I don't get super crazy about like cleaning it. I just use a soft brush it out, go on to the next color. It's a little time consuming of a process. And again, if that's not how you want to work with them and you want to just do it like this or scribble and paint, whatever works for you. I like the palette because again, I can have the whole set of colors like right in front of me and I can just and do my thing. This does work. It just is a little bit more work, is all I'm saying. So that's why I prefer the palette. And I will be doing a palette for the new colors and probably redoing my palettes completely. But I need time. I need more time. I literally need like extra hours in the day, an extra week in the month would be wonderful, an extra month in the year. Like if someone could do that, please, thank you.
Sounds like a horrible thing to happen on the 13th day of the 13th month.
I would love it. Look. 13 is basically a lucky number. That is one thing I do know about a certain musical songstress. 13 is her number. I hope her team does well. Her boyfriend's team does well. Go sports. Okay, so I did that one, and then I was gonna do. Is that worn lipstick in this one? No, that's saltwater taffy. That's what I was looking for. Was worn lipstick. I think that's in. Was that in the original colors? I don't remember what I'm doing anymore. I had worn lipstick on the brain. I think that's in this one. Ah, yes, it's in the other set. Okay, so spun sugar, worn lipstick, another fabulous color, and then this one I'm not bringing in all the way. I'm just doing it like that. So it's going to go from like a much darker pink to a lighter pink, and then I'm also going to use Festive Berries. So I might as well hold both. Because if I do this while everything's still a little wet, it'll kind of blend out on its own. And this is where having a cloth is handy. Because then I can just kind of wipe it off, go like that. And there we go. So they're going to be little cute little, we do get an extra, we do. I'm so glad this month, I'm glad this year's a leap year. I need that extra day. Like, January was the longest month. January was ridiculous for me. And yet at the same time, I always have so much to do at the beginning of the month, and February being a short month just really messes up like my deadlines and all my commitments, everything. And I was like, oh, thank goodness I got an extra day this month. I'm gonna need it. But I would like more than that, please and thank you. I would like an extra day a week. I would love. Oh, we should have like an extra month in the year. I don't know. I don't know. That's just my thoughts on everything. So yeah. Okay, so I'm just gonna keep painting the worn lipstick. And then just a little bit of the festive berries. Because I just thought doing these flowers in pink would be cute. Because I'm still in a pink mood. That's just... It's kind of funny because when I started my Valentine series a month ago, whenever it was over a month ago, and I was all like, oh, I'm so not, like, I'm over the traditional colors, blah, blah, blah. Most of my Valentine adjacent cards were very non-traditional colors, etc. And I don't know what, the last, like, week or two, I'm all, like, red, pink, everything. Like, my nail polish, like, I'm just, like, I'm wearing pink, like, just, I don't know. It's been a mood. So that's what I've been doing. And I'm okay with it, you know? I'm okay with it. Oh, I know. These die sets, that's why I love them. I love me little floral dies. Really, I love all wafer dies. I can't pick and choose. I'm an equal opportunity person when it comes to wafer dies, but I really like coloring them. Like ink blending them, coloring them, spraying them with sprays, ink smushing. You know, I've shown all the ways on my channel, and I enjoy it. It's when wafer dies really started getting like standalone wafer dies, when they really started becoming a thing, I was just like, what am I going to do with this? And I avoided them for a long time because I was like, where's the creativity in just die cutting like solid cardstock or whatever? And yet I love doing that too. But this kind of stuff, this is fun. I'll use the same die set over and over and over again and get different looks every time because I'll just do a different technique every single time. or different colors or whatever. I loves it. Okay. Yep, the pink is just it's my thing right now. And I'm okay with that. I haven't informed Chris. I was actually contemplating instead of painting our room like a really dark color, I was wondering if we should paint it pink.
Hmm?
It would look really nice.
Pink's okay.
It
I
is.
see it when the lights are off anyway.
Truth. But we don't have the accessories like in the room to make it like look nice, and I'm not about to buy like new furniture and things and bedding and all that stuff. So I'm not gonna. I was like, man, when it's done right, it can look so nice. Anyway.
We don't have the Barbie accessories for a pink room.
You don't need Barbie accessories. And I wasn't thinking like bright pink. I was thinking very pale, very like light pink, like practically a neutral. Like I love me some Barbie pink, but not on the walls. At least not in the current situation. Maybe someday. You never know. We got the EMTP palette. It's linked. The palette that I showed for it's linked with everything else because it's just a distress, a little distress palette. And yeah, it's like super full. It's only like a few bucks that thing. And yeah, I have multiples of it because I've saw like a couple for the new colors, etc. And then I have ones that I use with um, reinkers and different things. And yeah, that's I haven't done that in a while. I haven't shown that palette in a while, but yeah. Okay, okay, there we go. So we got that, and then we need to do the centers, which these will be. Yeah, we got tea dye and ground espresso. This little palette will work. We'll just use those two. Get out of there. Okay, so then we'll just do our little centers. And just get some water flowing in this guy. Yep, there we go. There we go. Add that. And that. Wipe it off. And then we'll go in with the ground espresso. And just kind of drop that in there. And let it do its thing. Just like so. And then we just need to let that dry. Okay. Hello. Maybe splatter pink on the walls. No, no. I don't like texture on walls. At least it'd be different if it was like actual like plaster walls that already have texture on them. But any form of texture, like when people do with painter's tape and stuff and do that on their walls, and then you peel off paper tape, and you've got like geometric patterns, whatever. It bugs me so much because I was like, you literally have to sand that to paint over it. It drives me insane. I can't do it. I can't do it. No. Anyway, like I say all that, all the walls in our house are white. I went with Builder Basic White, and I'm probably never going to change it because again, this isn't our forever home. So every time I think about it and how much work it would be to like to paint anything, and I'm just like, no, I don't have the time or I don't have the time or energy to keep up with my own life. Anyway, okay, these guys, other than the centers, almost everything is like dry, pretty much. So we can just start doing this, and I'll just kind of stick them with like pieces so I know what's what here. So let's pile up all our little pieces so we can quickly adhere them. Yep. And then we got our little stems. Yes, this is the little Tim Holtz detail water brush. This is the same one. Mine is stained. This is the same brush I have been using for many years. In fact, I think I've had this since before I've had the unpaid intern. Pretty sure. And it's linked. Yeah, I linked to it with the supplies. It's my favorite little water brush. But no matter what, any brand of water brush, you always need to have like a cloth or paper towel because it's just they can be finicky. You know, sometimes they get a little too drippy, other times are perfect, but this is one of the best ones. And I love it. I love it. Okay. There's all my little pieces. I already got a pile going on here. Okay. And now we just got to glue. Do you ever worry about coloring the edges of the die cuts? Not really. Oh, wait. Why is that? There we go. Yeah, it depends on what I'm doing. Like, that's also why I like die cutting first and then coloring, because usually I will get color around the edges so I don't have a super exposed white edge. With something like this, I don't care. I don't care. It really just depends on what I'm doing, you know? But yeah, that's why I do like die cutting first though, because it just, I find more often than not if I don't, and then I go to die cut it and sometimes, I don't know, whatever works, really, you know? Yeah. Oh yeah, I'm sure I will do um a rainbow of flowers in a future video. Because that is another favorite thing that I love to do is rainbow all the things, man. So I got ideas. Won't be doing it today because I was just again I was in a pink mood and we're going pink. That's what we're gonna do. So we're just gonna adhere. And you can kind of do whatever you want, however you want to adhere these. I just do like largest to smallest. Doop, doop, doop. You know? Because that's just what seems to work. Just a little craft tacky glue. Stick that on there, and then we're gonna have a like pretty pink little daisy dude. And then we'll stick the flower center on there. And then just like so. It's got that. And then we can adhere the stem. Just stick it on there. And then I'll just use my reverse tweezers to hold that in place. There we go. Let that sit. Pull these sleeves. Okay. And then leaf. Let's stick one down here. Just a little dab of glue. Doesn't need much. Oh, no. This one needs more time to dry. This is why I keep multiples of the tweezers. So we'll do that. We'll pull out another one. And then it's hard to do holding everything up. Get out of the way. Let's just do this. Stick that on there. And again, slide the tweezers underneath. And they can be an extra little pair of hands to hold that in place while I go on to the next one. Always a method to the madness. Oh my gosh. Okay. So now I'm going to go with this one. And then just line it up. Get into place. There we go. There we go. And then that one. Oh, no, we want that. That's what we want. We want that piece. Perfection. And they've got like all that variation. It's just fun, you know? It's just fun. I love it. So yeah. Oh yeah, no, you need multiple pairs of tweezers. I have many. Um, I have many pairs because when I only had one pair, it always grew legs and walked away. Literally, I spent more time looking for the darn thing because it just did. And I mentioned this in a video. Yeah, once I got multiple pairs, now that they have siblings, I never lose them. They don't walk away. I don't know. It just is what it is. So yeah, let's, okay. Last week I made my pencil palette and your cat walked through the, oh no. Yep. Yep, that is exactly what would happen. Yeah. Yeah, making it, it does take, I think mine took a good couple days at least to fully dry. Because I added a fair bit of water to mine because I really wanted it just to keep it contained, because the shavings, if you don't, like, all it would take is like one bump and I would flip the whole thing everywhere. But yeah, the first making of it, it took at least 2 days, if not longer, to dry. Now, when I use it, it doesn't, because I don't add much water to it. Like, a drop is all it's needed, or I won't even add water. I'll just swirl my brush in the palette. That works too. But yeah, yeah. Fun times. That's cats for you, though. Really, they own the world. Okay, let's put this leaf in a different spot. And then same thing. We just kind of get that one in there. There we go. And then set that aside, and then we do the last one. I have dexterity issues using a pencil sharpener. Would it be possible to use a craft knife to cut a small end of the distressed pencils off, put it in a palette, add water? Yeah. It would take a little bit more, as in, it's not gonna, like, because, like, with the shavings, they fill the whole little, let me show. And again, you can see it in the video, but like the shavings are, and I tamped them down a little bit and I would add a bit, or you can actually see, kind of, like, there's still some like shaving bits that haven't fully, because I didn't get water to that spot. But if you were to slice off, yeah, with like a knife, or really, you could, depending on your dexterity issues, use like, not necessarily the big huge guys, but the medium sized ones of the Tim Holtz scissors. Those would probably, like, because these are nice, So you probably could just be very careful doing that. Let me set this down. Because yes, I 100% understand that. Like, because even for me, and I talked about this, like, I did this whole thing. I did it in a video, but like I took my time and filmed it in like sections, because yeah, holding the pencil sharpener and doing this for hours, however long it took me, not a fun time. I do it because I love it. Thank you, Nancy, so much. Thank you. But yeah, like, these tonic, and I don't have a link to them. Can you look up, search Tim Holtz scissors? Because there's a medium size. You definitely, in fact, I'm just gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. See what happens.
Which one, the snips or the shears?
Just wait. It works. Probably freaked out a bunch of people doing that. I'm fine with it. Not the haberdashery, not the shears, and not the snips. There's the medium size. Just make sure they're not the left. Well, there's
snip scissors.
What's right beside the mini snips, though?
Titanium snip scissors.
No. What's the second one in from the top?
Left-handed titanium snip.
Ugh. It's hard when it's a dude doing things and he doesn't know.
Come on.
There's a medium pair that is not the big pair, because there's the big pair, and then there's the baby pair, and there's a middle pair. Like, literal Goldilocks, man.
There's a 6-inch haberdashery one.
They're not the haberdashery.
5 5-inch haberdashery?
Not haberdashery. Those are a different type of scissor altogether.
Okay.
It's these dudes. There's the little ones. There's a medium pair in between. These are the snips. These are the shears. There should be a medium pair.
Yes.
Not too hot, not too cold, just right.
I'm telling you what I see.
Oh,
You're telling me what I should see.
Well, whatever. Anyway, these work too, obviously. You know, it does work. You got to be careful and have like a dish. Me doing this was kind of dumb. I got it like everywhere. I don't really care. I'm fine. It's fine. Like, we'll just, and then I can wipe this off. I'm fine. See, it works. It does work. So if you don't want to slice or sharpen them, you can use, and the Tim Holtz ones are just because these are at least like ergonomic, and these will cut through anything. Like I've talked about this before. You can link to these because, yeah, if you don't have a pair of these shears, like we have extra pairs in our house. I have a pair in my shed. I use them for gardening. They are just good scissors. So if you have a dish, don't do this like an idiot. You could just cut it, and it will kind of come apart, which is perfect. And then pour that into the palette. I do recommend like little triangle trays. That would work, because that's what I showed in my video. And then you can try and do it over that, but even a dish, and then transfer it. It will work. I made a mess. I'm fine with it. I'm just going to stick these pieces like right in the container. I'm okay with this. Again, these pencils are going to last a really long time. I'm not, but I'll just get it in there. See? And then I can just pour this right back into its little container. Okay. See? There. I'm fine with that. I'll deal with it later. So yes, that'll work. It'll work. It'll be a little mucky, but even doing the shavings, that's mucky as well. It's a messy process, but it's fun. And yes, if you're doing the shavings, do not sneeze. Do not have a fan going. You end up with just one heck of a mess. Okay. Well, I'm glad it helped. Cause yeah, I get it. The only reason I'm gonna keep doing the shavings, I get a weird satisfaction. Like I really do like. I don't know why. I love how these look sharpened, even though I'm not gonna use them that way. I love that. They're just again sharp enough to poke your eye out. Love it. They're like little weapons. Anyway, I've got issues. Thank you, Maggie. Thank you. I appreciate it. So yeah, why not? Why not, man? Yeah, my poor little pumice stone pencil. It'll sort of annoy me, but at the same time, it's fine. It is definitely something we as crafters need to get over, is keeping things perfect, keeping things pristine. Yeah, like one, I can't anyway to save my life. I'm just too klutzy of a human being, but also all this stuff was meant to be used. If you like collecting it, great, that's fine. I collect things too, but yeah, use them. Use them. And let them get messy, let them get dirty. A lot of it can be cleaned up, wiped down, whatever. Okay, we got our little 2 flowers so far. Now let's get this guy adhered. Doop. Okay, him adhered. And then again, pinch it with the reverse tweezers just to hold it in place. And then this one, let's do the leaf really high up, just because we can. Again, this is hard to do. How would I put the tweezer on the other side? That would maybe make my life easier. There we go. And then we do that. And then, yep. Okay. There we go. Let that dry. Okay. Oh, hello, Jen. Happy birthday. Jen's birthday today. And I remembered. So, yeah. Okay. Okay. We got that. I managed it. And then I've wondered if that's not the difference between a crafter and an artist. Crafter worries about dirty tools and artist thinks, what if? Maybe. But I don't know. Like, crafting is art. It's we're kind of getting into like splitting hairs in a sense, and everyone will have an opinion when it comes to that, because there are a lot of people who have this opinion that like a negative opinion towards crafting, you know, that it's you know, and then card making. It's like, do whatever brings you joy, man. You know, muck around and play and make cards and crochet and knit and do whatever it is that is your thing. You know, everyone is creative, literally everyone. And the thing that kills me the most is that everyone is creative, but a lot of people have it burned out of them, you know, at young ages, being told that, you know, it's not for your gender, or it's you're not good at it, or you're not enough, or whatever. But everybody has some form of creativity. And thankfully it's different in everybody, because otherwise it would be really freaking boring if we all liked and did and enjoyed the exact same things. So there's my rant on that. Anywho. Okay, we got some flowers. And then okay. Oh, that's awesome that it arrived. I like knowing when cards arrive, because you never know sometimes. Okay, we gotta do some more die cutting, and nope, that's the lighter weight stuff. That is not what I want. I want the heavier weight. This is what I want. Got some Nina, Desert Storm, and I couldn't resist. I showed this in a recent video because I love it, and I couldn't resist using it again because I love it. And it's the Whirl diamond plate. I love it. So I'm gonna use it. So that's what we're gonna do. I think I can use the scissors I just used. There we go. So we're gonna die cut that. I don't need that anymore. Okay. And then need my bigger die cut plates so that I can actually die cut this dude. Just like so. And then we'll run that through the die cut machine. There we go. Alright. Ugh. I work with children. I always encourage their creativity, telling them it's individual and proud. Yeah, it is. And it just, everyone's got it and it just in a million different ways. And yeah, I don't know. It makes me sad when I hear people, you know, thinking that they'll never be good enough, or that they'll never master this or that or anything. Most of the time, in that case, all it takes is practice, and lots of it. And that is one of the downfalls. We're not going to get into a whole like the evils of social media, because no, I could go on that about forever. But that is one of the downfalls to it, is now that we've got like shorts and reels and fake social media content, you know, people making everything look so curated, so perfect, so wonderful. You know, like I used to love watching those speed drawings, you know, artists that would draw something, and it's amazing, you know, a 2-minute video, and it's amazing. But it's like, that's like 100 hours of work, you know. And I stopped watching that sort of content, because I literally started feeling bad, because I was like, man, I'm never going to be that good to ever be able to do something like that. But it's like, this person has had years of experience. Some have like fine art training, you know. And again, like, massive, massive amounts of time and effort behind the scenes. So, same thing with card making. You know, it's there's a lot. There's a lot more. That's where the lives are nice because you guys get to see me in real time and just how much of a clumsy oaf I am. I'm going to use the Nina Desert Storm as my base as well because I do love me a tone on tone background. And I also love my guillotine charmer. Okay. Dupe. Let me oh yeah, comparison is like the thief of joy in a lot of ways. Like, and it's not just with crafting, lifestyle stuff, you know, literally. Like, I don't follow a whole lot on social. Like, I pretty much keep to social media to just my crafting, my business, everything else. And I keep my children off of it completely until they're adults because again, it's a hellscape and my kids don't need that crap. Holy wow. But it's insane how the lengths people are going to. Like, I was reading an article the other day, and it was literally this woman who does like lifestyle TikToks. She goes to open houses for like millionaire homes.
Oh.
She has her kids dressed up to go to these open, and then she takes photos of her kids in these homes to make it look like that's their lifestyle.
That's like mental illness.
Oh, I know. And I just like, it's one thing to go to, like, we like going to open houses.
Sure.
You know, we go to the home lottery ones and I touch everything and I nitpick everything. It's not my house. Hopefully we win one, you know. But I would never it's never occurred to me for us to like start taking selfies, you know, in these fancy $2 million+ homes. We should.
I don't think
You know?
ready for that.
I know. But like to then pretend that that's our I couldn't do it. And that, again, that's a drop in the bucket.
Such a low social media presence.
Oh, I know. And so do I in a lot of ways, other than like crafting related. I keep our personal life, everything off social media because it gets weird. Anyway, look at that. Look at that. Look at it. Look at it. This is beautiful. Is this like this wafer die, man? Like the detail. That's why I love it. It's beautiful. So anyway, yeah, it's nuts. And that's one example of a bajillion. You know, the curated, like, there's so much going on now of people doing that, like filming this content and editing it very specifically, filming it very specifically to give this impression of a lifestyle and a personality and all these things that none of it's real. You know, like your home is always perfectly clean and your children are always perfectly behaved and life is always perfectly perfect and you have designer everything. And, you know, I get striving for that, but it's weird. It's weird. I don't like it. I don't like it. And it makes people really, it messes with your head. You know, it really messes with your head. So anyway, all that to say, bring it back specifically to card making. Do not compare your day 1 to someone's like day 20 or year 20 or whatever. You know, that's what I really like to try and hammer that home because I do get comments like that, like, oh, I could never color like you, or I could never do this like you, or I could never be as creative as you. And don't forget, I've been doing this for 20 plus years. It's been over 20 years now. Man, card making, crafting in general, I've been doing it my whole life, you know, but it's just everyone's at a different spot. And then on top of that, everyone's got different interests and then a different, you know, different creative niches. You know, some people love to watercolor. Some people love to color with code markers. Some people love to just die cut. Some people like doing like the mixed media ephemera. You know, everyone is in a different spot. And that's the beauty of it all. So try not to compare yourself. And I know this because sometimes I will see other makers and I'm just like, damn, I could never think of that. How, why? But I look at it, I appreciate it, I try and remember to give them comments and tell them how freaking amazing they are, and then I'm gonna keep doing my thing, you know? It just is. So I hope that just, yeah. Um, it is hard to change, and it's something, and it's why I kind of keep banging on that drum, because it is, and social media is a lie. It really is. Even things like Chris and I talk about this a lot, because it's like I do my lives. You guys don't even see him. You see him for like a minute altogether, if that. You know, he pops in, you hear him, little tidbits here and there. But that's like a tiny, tiny, tiny fraction. Because I had people asking, like, we should do a podcast. Like, our relationship is so perfect. And I was like, it's not at all. You know, it's is what it is. You know, and we're not going to do a podcast, and we're not going to share a relationship, because one, it's not perfect, and we don't have all the answers. We're not therapists. Good Lord. We would be a podcast of what not to do. But you know, it's like it's a tiny little fraction of an entire day, an entire week, and an entire life. You know, same with like the people that do vlogging and all that kind of stuff. It's a curated little bit. The finished card you see on Instagram, that's the finished product of who knows how much time, effort, attempts. You know, like there's a lot more behind it all, and our brains have just become conditioned to seeing the end product of everything. The end product, the finished song, the finished movie, the finished card, the finished whatever, you know, that someone's putting out there. And you don't like the finished reel, especially those. I was like, that 2-minute snippet, I'm like, that's a day's worth of work, you know? I hate reels. I love that other people make them. I have never been so frustrated. Nope. I have a whole bunch of footage. I planned on doing a reel for a recent card, and I was like, I still haven't had the time to edit it. I was like, it takes forever. Mm-hmm. Forever. So, anyway. Where am I? I'm like my brain. I'm just like going on random little tangents. Anyway, so there's my base. A2 sized, so 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. Nina Desert Storm cardstock, my go-to, and then we're gonna do that. We're gonna have some flowers. I think I want to stamp this. Where's my stuff? Okay, I got this, and then is it brave? Maybe. I don't know. I don't consider it brave, to just be honest. Like, yeah, and I wouldn't want a perfect relationship. I think I would go crazy, you know? Chris isn't even in the room right now, but like, he is wonderful. You know, he volunteers to help during my lives. Totally unasked for. He does it. He works full time. Again, he's the reason I've got this cold, honestly. But he's been busting his ass, just helping extra, because I haven't been feeling good, you know? But again, is our relationship perfect? No, it is a work in progress, always. And it just is what it is. But I don't share, for many reasons. I've discussed this because people have asked like about like my children, and even just our relationship and our life. I don't share any of that on social media anymore for many reasons. Just cause. But those things I will say. So yeah, it's not perfect. Anyway, back to what I was doing. Aren't they though? This is Mooncat something or other. Again, it's in my previous videos, the nail polish color, because I'm not pressing the button to have the pop-up because it ruined my life last time. Literally, I think that's what broke it. Ridiculous. Anyway, okay. Blah, 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 blah. This will be linked in the profile because, again, Chris isn't back. He's dealing with the chaos. This is the friendship text. Background, this is oldie but goodie. This came out a few years ago. One of my faves. Any text will work. So I got the friendship text, background, card base, cozy, positively saturated ink, just kind of a neutral. A neutral. Can't go wrong with a good neutral. speak of the devil.
Have to go feed the kids.
Okay. And then we just flip it over. And press. You can use a stamp positioner, you know, a MISTI, etc. That's fine. It's all good. I just, over the years, you know, because background stamp's been around longer than anything else. And this is what I do. There we go, man. And this will soften a bit. This won't be quite, you know, because the positively saturated inks do soften. And then, I'm going to put a little bit of Post-it tape right at the score line, just so that I don't stamp past the score line. My good old trusty Post-it tape that I just keep stuck to the top of my die cut machine, because I just keep reusing it until there's nothing left of it. Just cuz. Okay, so then, yeah, so this will be the inside of the card. And we just do the exact same thing. Doop. Yes. Okay, so that was that. And then I'm gonna quickly I missed something. Relationship for the ups and downs. I'm glad you keep your relationship personal. You need to have something private. I think everyone does. Yes, and Jen's got a point on that too. Especially nowadays. Like, my personal experience is social media isn't the nicest place. Truth. The hardest lesson for me was to not seek validation from others, likes, comments in craft groups. That was hard to admit to myself too. That one is true. I'll say though, with like, add on to that, I do still genuinely find that card makers are the best. And I'm not just saying that because we are card makers. But when I do dip into other communities here and there, the absolute insanity, like, people think some of the trolling that I have to deal with is bad. It is nothing compared to just everything else out there. Like, holy wow. Like, society's doomed. But card makers, I don't know. I find them to be the most positive. There's always those few, no matter what. And it's like that with everything. There's always those few that are just miserable, crazy, whatever. And then the other thing is, yeah, like, likes and comments, those, it has changed so much because, again, the market, there's just so much. There's so much content. There's so many, like, everyone's online. And it's just not like it used to be. So even for ones like me that is like old school, I've been doing this a long time, I'm like so super famous, you know? So many followers. But yeah, I don't get that many. Like, I appreciate every like and every comment I get. I always try to heart them so people know I read every single one. I try to respond as often as I can. I boot the trolls. Sometimes I engage with them depending on my mood. You know, it just depends. But yeah, it's hard. It is hard sometimes to, if that's your kind of main goal, is to just become a famous card maker. No. Or famous in any aspect of whatever genre, you know, seeking that validation is that you're definitely like setting yourself up for some hard, ugly truths. Okay, I love. Look at that. Look at that background. Even when I'm not feeling good, I'm loving how this is working. I'm so glad. I'm just so glad because I'm like operating in a fever dream at this point. Yeah.
Do you want a cinnamon heart?
You stole some of my hot tamales?
Yeah, here.
They're my hot tamales. Snack break. I do love me some cinnamon spicy candy. And I'm not sharing these ones with you. You stole some of them, but I only have the one bag. Mm. I was able to get my hands on a bag of these. Love them. Love them. They're not easy to get in Canada. I actually had to order some online. But yeah, because I was so upset the other day. It always turns to snacks. And Chris knows though. I got some from one of our grocery stores. We were getting groceries and they had like cinnamon hearts. And I was like, yeah. They were hot I'm so mad. Literal hot garbage. They were like wax, but crunchy. Because I had you try them. They were like crumbly, crunchy wax with like a hint of cinnamon. Like cinnamon maybe was adjacent, like in the next building over when they made, like they were just garbage. They were so gross. Anyway, yum. Favorite. That's the only bag I've got though, so I'm not sharing. I'm not sharing those because that's all I've got. I love me cinnamon hearts. Okay, back to the regular schedule program. I gotta figure out what else I was doing here. Okay, I already used that. I have this to deal with. That's what I was getting at. Okay. I have plans. Oh, splatter. We got a splatter. Okay, before we get to anything else, let me get this all out of the way first. And we'll come back to all this other stuff. I'm like running out of space here. Okay. Yum, crunchy wax. Oh, seriously, they were so bad. I was so disappointed. Like, not palatable. Just garbage. Garbage nastiness. Anyway. Are those spicy? Oh, yeah, these are spicy. Yeah, I would call these spicy. They're good. Yeah. And Brock's makes good ones. They don't get to Canada very easily. So yeah, these I was really happy I was able to get my hands on a bag. Okay, back to what I was doing. Used to bake apples with the cinnamon hearts. Ooh. I know, it says they're good for baking. I've never baked with anything like that. And honestly, I'm not going to because they're my little snack. Like, I love it. So yeah, that and our hot tamales candies. I love like spicy cinnamon candy. It's just so delicious. So anyway, just sticking some glue. The previous video I did using this background, I actually popped it up with little like foam squares, which is really fun. It looks awesome, but I don't want to do that today because I don't. that's the only reason. I just don't want to. So we're just gonna glue this directly to the background. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Yeah, they're spicy. And like the hot tamales, like these, I don't have like the packaging to show or whatever, but these guys, and they're chewy. But they also have the extreme hot ones. Oh, I love those. Like they burn. But yeah, our local pharmacy carries the extreme ones. We should get a box.
Good.
I like them. They are spicy, like almost make your eyes water spicy. I love it. And I'm not a big spice fan. Chris is. He dumps hot sauce on everything. And that's fine. Okay, so we got this. We gotta add splatter. Because that is what we do. That is what we do. Okay. So we got our background. Let's put a tiny bit of tape, even though this card is pretty closed, but just to save us all any aggravation. There, okay, my splat box. And then there is no worn lipstick distress paint. I thought there was. And spun sugar for me, I think is too light. And I don't want to do red splatter, so I'm just going to mix them because that's just what I like to do. I think I can. Oh yeah, this one should be fine. Good for your cold also. Yeah, that's probably why I've been like eating way too many hot tamales. I've just been downing them, but it helps. It helps clean out the sinuses. That's what I'll say anyway. They're healthy. Excuse me. Just pure sugar, but still. Oh.
Sugar and cinnamon has been a very common combo in pretty much anything delicious.
Yeah, I believe it. Actually, I think my paint is like partially dried out. Just a bit. Just a bit. I obviously have not used this one in a very long time. I think it just dried in the lid. Give me a second here. I think it's just... Oh yeah, it's just, I got a blob of it dried up in the lid. Just peel that out of there. And we should be good. We should be good to go. This is really, like, Festive Berries is a color I overlooked for a long time, and it is such a pretty color. Like, I think on my screen it looks a little more pink, but it's like a really pretty pinky red. I love it. Okay. Now we're good. Stick that in there. And then we'll add a bit of water, because it definitely needs some to thin it out. And yes, I could use mica stain sprays. There's many that would work. But I've already got the paint out. I'm going to make it a little lighter, though, because that was too big of a blob of... This is way too much paint, but I don't care. I'm fine with this. That's the color I was wanting. Need more water. Need it in a more splatterable consistency. There we go. Doot doot. Yes. Yep. We're good. We're good. And then, oh, there's my cloth. I was like, where's my cloth? There it is. Always, with distress paint, acrylic paint in general, you gotta clean it up immediately because it does dry permanently. Okay. We're about in Canada. We are in Saskatchewan. So just about smack dab, not quite smack dab in the middle. I guess we're considered the western provinces.
We are. West of what? West of more west.
West of more west. Yeah, what would be considered like the actual middle of Canada?
It's somewhere like...
We is a big country.
Yeah. I'd almost say it's pretty close to the border between
Manitoba and
Ontario.
That's what I was thinking.
It might be even further east of that. A little bit towards...
Yeah, Ontario basically is the center of Canada, so...
Lake Superior kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Streaks in what? In the paint? You just mix it. And for splattering, I didn't even mix it that well. I don't care. Like, it's just fun. You know? It just gives it that little extra something. So, I love it. That's my level of petty. I love it. Love it. Anyway. But yeah, the distress paints, they mix up really nice. Like, the one thing, if you're not aware, with distress paints, they do not have fillers in them. That's just how they roll. So the consistency does vary between the colors because there are no fillers in them to keep them at an even consistency because it's just pigment. It's the same thing with the distress watercolor pencils, etc. It's just pure pigment basically. So some paints are thicker than others, black soot being the thinnest, like it's like pure liquid. And yeah, they mix up so nicely because there's not every single color of distress paint, and I just mix and match and do whatever works. So yeah. There's a landmark just east of Winnipeg that's the center of Canada.
Oh, well.
Of course, and it'd be near Winnipeg. Ew. We don't like that province, okay?
I lived there for like 4 months.
Did you? I've never actually even been. I don't even know if I've been over the border.
Yeah.
I've been all over Western Canada, like hardcore, like Saskatchewan, Alberta, BC, etc. And then I've been to the Maritimes. But Manitoba, all of Ontario, and Quebec, I have never gone to at all. Someday, we'd like to go to Montreal. That's on the bucket list.
Montreal
Spend
and
a few
Quebec
days.
City both.
And Quebec City, yes. Anyway, what was I doing? I was doing this. But yeah, we are a big country. So even trips like that for us to fly to Montreal, it's expensive.
It is.
It's so expensive.
You're crossing half a continent.
Yes. Yeah, and a big continent at that.
Yep.
Like from here, just a flight to Toronto is 3.5, almost 4 hours. Yeah. Like we's a big country. Anyway, like for us to drive to the coast on like the western coast of BC, it is a 20+ hour drive.
Yep.
So, okay.
Through several mountain ranges.
Yes. It's a beautiful drive.
It is.
It's beautiful. Okay. Back to what I was doing. Then we've got, okay. I pulled out the Nested Round Hearts wafer die set. This is another oldie but goodie. I just thought this will be a little like kind of back to the florals. So I'm going to die cut that from some vellum, which I'm just going to use some Simon Says Stamp vellum, just like so. Manitoba's claim to fame and their mosquitoes. Yeah, it's the same thing here though. We have a lot of mosquitoes. Ugh, gross.
I'm reminded of that time I went stargazing one time in the country and just got eaten.
That it was cool that I got to see that. What comet was that? I don't remember. We went and saw a comet one. This was years ago. Chris and I went out with his telescope to the literal middle of nowhere, like middle of nowhere. Like gravel roads, no lights, like middle of nowhere. And we're definitely near the river though.
Yes, we were.
And that's all you could hear was the mosquitoes. And we were like drenched in mosquito spray. And even then, I will not forget the pain my ankles were in for the week. Oh, my ankles were swollen. I had so many mosquito bites. I almost died. It was still fun. I got to see that comet.
And Jupiter's moons.
Yes, I got to see a couple of Jupiter's moons, which was really cool. Like, it was cool, but, it was bad. Like, it was just like a ringing. There were, like, millions of mosquitoes, like, terrifying in a sense. But, yeah.
That's what the wilderness is here, though, right?
Yeah, the
Bugs and,
wilderness.
bugs and open skies.
Pretty much, yep. But still, it was fun. We've talked about it every once in a while again, and both of us, the minute we're like, yeah, we should go and like take the telescope, and then we remember the mosquitoes, and we're like, nope. But someday we'll do it again.
In the spring before they kind of wake up, sort of deal.
Yeah.
But then you got the mud.
Well, yeah, because we went during that, because that's specifically that comet.
I think it was like August or September.
It was the summertime.
Yeah.
Because it was nice out too. It was the middle of the night. That was part of it. We had to go in like the middle of the night because it had to be dark enough.
Yeah, remember we went past that town, that Forest Fortress one. What the heck is that one called?
Forest Fortress. Yeah, they had big trees there. It was crazy. We live in suburbia. There's no big trees here because it's a new development and it drives me insane. We have no trees. Anyway, back to... Okay. Many people don't ever enjoy the country they live in. Yeah, well, Canada is a massive country. Yeah. Massive. Like, yeah. People do not understand just how big our country is and just the huge, massive variety of landscapes and everything. And yeah, I've lived here all my life, but I still haven't seen tons of it. And yeah, okay, so we got that. We're going to set that aside because the paint is still, so that's got to dry. And then for my sentiments, I'm going to use this. We're going to glue them together first. And then I'm going to add some color, I think. That's the plan. That is the plan. Okay. Pesky little vampires. Oh, yeah, I hate mosquitoes. I hate mosquitoes with a passion. It just, man, they ruin everything. They really do. So yeah. The worst is when you're trying to go to sleep and one gets in the house and then it's just like buzzing around your ear. Yep. Brings on a rage in me that it's not pretty. Uh, Drove across Canada as a family from Minnesota back in the olden days of no passports. Hit Quebec, Nova Scotia, said I love Canada, Western part of Canada's teen, all the way to Banff. There's a lot more past Banff.
Yeah. Although Banff and Jasper are
Banff and Jasper are absolutely beautiful.
They should be people's bucket list.
They are people's bucket list things, and I am one of the, few that I have been there many, many, many times over my life, and it never gets old when you get outside Calgary and the Rocky Mountains come into view, and because there's only like one main highway, and you start getting closer to Banff, and it just like you got like Moraine Lake, and it is just unbelievably beautiful out there, and I absolutely love it. And then if you get past there and you get through the pass and you get into BC, it's just phenomenal. And then when you get to the coast and like Vancouver Island, that's an experience. Like that should be on people's bucket list too, is to take the ferry from Vancouver to Vancouver Island. It is absolutely beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful out there. So we're hoping to go there again at some point. It's been many years since I've been there. Um, I went to Niagara Falls and the Toronto Zoo, Canada. It was beautiful and so clean. Some areas are clean. But actually, the cleanest place in Canada I've ever been, and I don't know if it's still a rule there, was Prince Edward Island. It was back when I went, and this was many years, more than a couple decades ago. But they used to have a law that you could not sell beverages in plastic bottles there, and I don't know if that's still a rule in Prince Edward Island. So everything was in glass bottles, which as a teenager that was super cool to me because like all the pop you could buy was in glass bottles. But it was also to keep everything clean. That when I was there, this was like 25 years ago, it was pristine. I'm not even kidding. I did not see a single speck of garbage anywhere, and the dirt really is red. Like it is red, and it's just I got to visit, Anna Green Gables area, and I even got to go to a little like kind of Broadway play for Anna Green Gables, and trucked all over PEI, and it was a fun time.
I love the houses there.
Yes, I got to stay in a bed and breakfast. It was owned by a Frenchman. We talked about this in a live because I remember because I mentioned he called me Mademoiselle, and I was just like, oh, that's so fancy. So yeah, the 15-year-old me was just like, oh. So yeah, fun times. Okay, so I glued those together. Those again, just Nina Desert Storm. Back to stick that on there for now. And then I'm gonna use those dudes. And these dudes. Okay. Don't forget Okanagan wine country. Oh yeah, that is something, and I've never had a chance to do it. I've known a lot of people like going into the BC interior where they grow, like where you can actually pick the fruit and stuff yourself. Oh, that would be so much fun. So much fun. Like there's a lot of things to do in this country. But yeah, the BC interior and the Okanagan and Vancouver Island and the Maritimes, and there's so much beautiful areas around like Montreal and just.
If you really want an adventure, we can go north.
Yeah, go north and see the polar bears. Yep, that would be fun. Someday. Be kind of cool, really. Like, yeah, that is one thing I have not seen in real life is a polar bear.
probably don't
like
want
in the
to.
wild.
They're,
We saw a black bear when we were driving to Edmonton that one time.
yes.
You know, that was really cool. I've seen the bears, I've seen moose, deer, all the things. Like in real life, not in a zoo, but I have not seen a polar bear. That would be cool. Anyway, Chris doesn't like bears.
No, I'm terrified of bears.
And I'm like, let me pet it. I'm not. We're not. I'm kidding. Stay away from the wild animals, folks. They're wild for a reason. But yeah, it would be cool. And penguins.
Penguins.
I would love to see them in real life, but I would be the one that you guys would have to like hold back because I'd be like, let me take them home. Like they're so cute.
The Calgary Zoo penguin.
I
so nice.
love going to the Calgary Zoo. Like if they would just let me sit and pet the penguins, or like I don't know, let me intern or something, I totally would. They were feeding them that day we were there, and I loved it. It just made my day. They're so cute.
I found it funny that some of
Thank you, Leanne, so much. Thank you.
Still sort of stood guard while the other one.
That one penguin stood guard.
Yeah.
While all the rest got fed, and I do hope they fed him because he was like, he stood guard, all the other penguins got fed, and then I'm not even kidding, he turned around and went up to the handler, and the bucket was empty, and he was waiting for his. So I really hope, but there were so many people around, so we didn't see what happened, but I really do hope that they went back in and like gave him a snack too, because he stood guard.
He did.
He was doing his job, and it was just so cute how he was like, "Where's mine?" And then I was like, "He didn't get any. Like, I'll pay extra so he can have some." So yeah, cutest ever. I love it. I love penguins. Like, I don't know what it is about them. They're such derpy looking animals. So yeah. Anyway, pouncing on. Back to what I was doing. Oxide inks, because oxides on craft. And then my little pick of, I had the container. Here they were. The little pick of fence. My little pint-sized paper pouncers that are dedicated to just oxides. Okay, back to what I was doing. Anyway, yeah, the Calgary Zoo is like
probably one of the best ones in Western Canada.
That one, and then, but it's not a zoo. The Vancouver in Vancouver, I forget what it's called, but it's not a zoo per se.
Is it the aquarium or whatever?
Yeah, well, it's got the aquarium and everything, but they are not a zoo in the sense of keeping animals. Like they take in rescues, and they don't put on like, as I've been there,
sanctuary,
kind of. Because they'll do like they rescue animals and stuff, and then the few aquatic, like the bigger ones, like they do not put on shows. They refuse. They're like, if the animals happen to be like the dolphins, I think they have some dolphins and a few other things. If they happen to like want to play in that, they'll let them, but they don't put on shows, like because that's not what they're about. And it's really fun there too. And they have like little sea otters and stuff. Those. It was all I could do not to reach over because you're like really close to them, and I just wanted to like scoop them up and just take them home because when they're laying on their backs in the water, you know, and they're so cute. So anyway, but yeah, are you looking up the Vancouver one?
No,
I forget what it's called. It's in Stanley Park. Anyway, we're doing a gradient. That's what I'm doing. That's the explanation of what I'm doing. So I used Festive Berries, Worn Lipstick, Spun Sugar, the same colors I used for the daisies on the, with the watercolor pencils. And then we just kind of blend those out just to give it that little extra something. So yeah, we got, there's a Vancouver Zoo too. Oh, maybe it is just a Vancouver Zoo. I don't even know.
Oh.
I don't know. It might be just the Vancouver Zoo. I know that they do a lot of like rescue stuff, and then they any chance they get, they try to rehabilitate, you know, or give medical, you know, whatever to whatever little animals that they've been brought into their care, and then they re-release them back into the wild. And yeah, because it's cool. It's cool, man. I like it. So it's really interesting, and it's Stanley Park was bigger than the Calgary Zoo years ago. They had polar bears when I was there. Yeah, I don't think they have polar bears anymore. But again, it's been many years since I've been there. Yeah, it was an experience. And we lucked out because when I was there, the dolphins were in a playful mood and they were like doing little tricks and things just for funsies, and it was a good time. It was a good time. But the highlight again was always the sea otters. Although I saw those in like literally just on the ferry between Vancouver and Vancouver Island. There was a little sea otter that popped up and he was like swimming alongside, and it totally made my day because I was sitting all by myself, no one else was around, so there wasn't a commotion, and I was just like, oh my god, he's so cute. And yeah, anyway. So we've got, the paint is almost dry. It's being not fully dry. Let's take a piece of copy paper. We just take yeah. We went to the Bouchard Gardens on Vancouver. Oh, the Bouchard Gardens that should be on people's bucket list. You haven't been, have you, Chris? The you haven't been to Vancouver Island, have you?
Vancouver Island, but I was like 15.
Oh, and you didn't go to the Bouchard Gardens?
No.
The Bouchard Gardens are phenomenal. Like, it's mind-blowing seeing that in person. It used to be a quarry, and the woman, she literally hung herself like down the sides of the quarry and planted, and you walk in there and it just opens up, and it is the most amazing landscaped flowers. They do fireworks at night. It is gorgeous. Definitely want to go back there. I could have stayed there all day. I would live there if they would let me. And then they have a butterfly garden place not like right nearby. Another favorite of mine. But yeah, Vancouver Island is amazing. Like, I stayed right on the coast, the west coast. And I remember looking outside and I was like, those are weird rocks. Like, because we're right on one of the bays. No, it was Sook Harbor. And I was like, those rocks are really weird. And I was like, I think they're I thought it was crazy. And it took me the longest time to realize they were sea lions. And that was so cool. We were, like, sea lion. They're just hanging out, They're just like, whatever. So yeah, it's just, Vancouver Island is, and it's just fun being there because, like, meeting the locals. There's so many like hippie granola types there, like everywhere. You cannot throw a rock without hitting a sign that says like free range chickens. They're everywhere. It's fun. Anyway, I'm just pressing the cardstock just to kind of pick up the wet paint, because otherwise this is just deciding to be difficult and take forever to dry, which I ain't got time for that. And I don't want to use my heat tool, only because I don't want it to start like, I don't want it to warp. Like, this is so nice and flat. I like that. So anyway, there's my random thoughts on all of that. Okay. Yeah, we're good. This'll work. So I've got my little vellum heart, and then sentiment, and then I've got my, how do I want to do this? I was thinking in my head it was like a cluster basically, which is basically going to cover up the heart. So the heart's kind of pointless, really. You're not even able to tell it's a heart, but meh. And then we'll do that and twine. That is the plan. Let's do the twine. Where's my twine? I had it pulled out. Did I put it in here? Yes, I did. Okay. We has some twine. Okay. And then need to peel off the little bit of tape I had just holding my card base closed. And then we'll take a bit of twine. We'll just wrap some around here, like so. And do that. And then get this tied in a bow. Again, this is where the reverse tweezers come in handy, because I do that and then I use the tweezers to pinch it. Look, ma, no hands. So then, and especially with twine, this helps because baker's twine is twisted, and if you start pulling it tight, it'll start twisting even more, and that's when your bows start looking wonky. Like, again, and nothing needs to be perfect, but this is just sort of explaining why I do what I do. So I just kind of fiddle with it till I'm kind of happy. Got my little bow. Then I can remove my tweezers and pull the bow tight. And then, of course, it decided to like flip a little bit, but whatever. There we go. Do that. We can zhuzh this up a little bit. Go like that, go like that. There we go. And again, I've been tying bows on cards for over 20 years. I have a very old video on my channel. One of my first videos, not the first, but one of my first videos, like early videos anyway, is tying bows on cards. So anyway, there's that on that. And yes, the ferry ride over to Vancouver Island, it's amazing. It is. Like, it just starts like it's like, it is mountainous. Like, Vancouver Island is basically like a mountain. And it's, I don't have words really to describe it. I sat there and I was just like, my jaw was just like, it's amazing. I didn't want to leave. So, okay. Got that. And then we got our little heart. And I need to figure out how I want to adhere things, because the issue with vellum is, do I want to run it through? No, I don't want to do that. Is adhesive shows through it. I did a video just the other day. I don't have the card in front of me, but the one with the honeybee florals and everything. And you can see it in that video. When I flip it over, you can see all the adhesive, because adhesive shows through vellum. That's just how it is. So I'm gonna kind of figure out, I guess, how I want to place these. And then, yeah, maybe I'll just tuck it under the whole thing. Just kind of tuck it under, because that'll make life a little bit easier. So if we do it like this, and then we don't really need, and the glue's clogged again. That's always what happens. There we go. There we go. Okay. So if I adhere these to the vellum, and then I'll be able to stick the adhesive behind the vellum to adhere it to the card front. We do it like that, because there's always a method to the madness. There's 2 on the front, 1. I could. Had in my head to do all 3, but I could do 2. And then the sentiment. And then we could stick the 3rd. Yes. Good job, Connie. And actually, extra good job, because I'm actually listening to you. Because usually when people tell me things, I'm like, you're not my real dad. Like, I don't have to listen to you. It's a knee-jerk reaction. Always. I do not like being told what to do. Ever. It just, even if it's said in kindness to me, my knee-jerk reaction is literally to be like, you're not my real dad, you can't tell me what to Anyway. But I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do what you told me to do. Look at me learning and growing.
That's why I put on my performance review every year.
Learning and growing?
I learned and grow
You learned
year.
and growed?
Yep.
Yep. Whatever works, man.
I grow professionally and personally.
I still love that you have to do your own performance reviews. That's so dumb. Gotta love corporate.
It's the new management technique of not giving a crap.
Yep. It's like you do your own performance reviews, and that's why I keep telling you. It's like just be like, I'm doing great. I am amazing. I deserve all the raises. Like, what else are you supposed to do when you're reviewing yourself? You're not going to be like, I suck at my job and I should be fired.
They give me a ranking after I submit
my and then they rank your own performance review. Yeah.
It's really weird.
Chris tries not to tell me too often about his work sometimes because it makes me rage. Anyway.
Tech is a weird thing.
Tech is weird, but it's somewhat fast. I wouldn't survive. This is why I do this as a job. And I'm my own CEO and janitor and president and fan club and just everything.
You should write your own performance review and then evaluate.
I should write my own performance review. Oh, it would be bad. Doesn't take advice from anyone, is snarky, is snotty, is rude to people, has resting bitch face, because I do, rubs people the wrong way, could be much more successful in her career if she wasn't such a jerk.
I was thinking more like the Amy made card real good and the other thing good too.
Welcome to the Amy Make Card Real Good and Do Other Good Thing too channel.
Yes.
Yeah. Put that as my tagline. I make card real good, man.
She card make good.
Yeah, I card make real good. Yep. Doing great at all the things. That's me. That's me. Anyway. Thank you, Connie. You didn't need that. Yeah, you know, if you guys want to pay me, I'll take more advice. I'm joking. I'm totally joking. Thank you, Connie, but you know.
Here's a hundo. My advice is
yeah, that could get in. I don't even want that would open up a can of worms. You know, we're not going there. We're not going there. Oh, good Lord. Yeah. But yeah, Amy make card real good.
Amy make card real good.
Yeah. That's what we need to watch. That one we need to have list.
Zoolander?
Yes! Yeah. Zoolander. Chris and I was talking, I think it was in my Facebook Live. Chris and I have like been watching, we've only done 2 so far. Like we're going back watching like 90s movies and stuff, 90s, early 2000s movies. So we watched Independence Day a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
Favorite movie, no notes. Love it. Absolutely love it. It was even better this time around. Oh, I cackled. So ridiculous. We quoted that movie. And then to continue with the disaster, we watched Armageddon the other night. Again, wonderful. No notes. Ben Affleck and his ridiculous veneers in that movie. Just everything about it. So stupid. So stupid. I love it. Absolutely love it. Like, let's blow everything up. And we're going to have, like, oil riggers save the world drilling on an asteroid. Yeah. Love it. Like, Bruce Willis smoldering with the blue light in, you know, just like NASA and America saving the world. I love it.
Steve Buscemi's my favorite character in that movie.
I love Steve Buscemi in pretty much everything. Yeah. He's a good actor, and I like him as a like human being because I'm not a big like fangirl of anyone or anything because I just don't. But Steve Buscemi's a good person, so, or at least he is from what I've heard. Because after what he did during like 9/11 and stuff, and helping out at Ground Zero and everything, it's like he's a good dude because he used to be a firefighter. So yeah, good movie. Love it. We're gonna watch Deep Impact one of these days. Zoolander. There's many movies we love. We love these. They're ridiculous.
I think Waterboy.
Yeah, we watched Waterboy. Remember? Mm-hmm. Yeah, we watched it with Josie. That was like a year ago. Remember? And she was just like looking at us like we were insane, and both of us were just cackling. Like, love it. Like the fact that he was able to get what's her face? His mama. in Waterboy?
Oh, Kathy Bates.
Yes. She wasn't going to act in that movie. She read the script and threw it in the trash. It was her kids that picked it up and realized it was an Adam Sandler movie, and they convinced her to do it.
Yeah.
Because, yeah, it's Kathy Bates. She's a phenomenal actor.
She is.
Yeah. And she was so good. It was so dumb. But, yeah. Like, love it. Love it. Love it. Such a good movie. Adam Sandler movies will never not be funny to me. Like, we'll have to watch Happy Gilmore again. We watched that one again. We've watched a lot of Adam Sandler movies the last few years. Love them. Just stupid humor. Totally up my alley. I can shut my brain off and not think. Anyway, gonna stick. Gonna stick that one right there. Right there. There we go. Alrighty. Okay. It's coming together, and I'm glad. Because again, I'm like creating and planning. That would be me. If I had to write my own review, I'd probably end up firing myself as soon as I read it. Yep. It's the joy, I guess. That's one of the perks of me working for myself is if I fire myself, I'll have to rehire myself like right afterwards. You know, I'm not going anywhere. But yeah, it's probably better for everyone that I just don't write any reviews. Ooh, this one I didn't glue down all the way, but let's fix that. Get your glue. Guess it would help if I actually put glue right there. There we go. Silly thing. There. Oh, get there. We're good. Okay. Okay. I know, right? I love Adam Sandler. He just, I don't know. He's just like who I was talking about with Chris yesterday. It's like those few people that just get to live the dream, you know?
Yeah.
Hey, like work with your friends, do stupid things, and get paid obscene amounts of money to do it. You know, because most of his movies are absolutely ridiculous. And he gets all his friends to work on them. And he has a thing I've noticed. He does a lot of them in Hawaii. And he has his family like he has his wife acting in his movies. He has his kids now acting in his movies. So it's all like a big, massive write-up. I need to start card making in Hawaii. Can I pull that off? My accountant would be just like, really?
Adam Sandler's accountant.
I know. Yeah. It's like I had to be in Hawaii to do this live. Like, it's the only way it would work. Man. Anyway.
The vellum needs a specific moisture content only found in Hawaii.
Yes. Yes. Chris gets it. He gets it. You know, it's the only way that this card will work is in Hawaii. Or Bora Bora. Or the other place, you know, Scotland, again, still top of my bucket list. My ruins in Scotland that I would love to have. Okay. Do I want the outline now on this? Not really. I kind of like this as is. I don't want the outline because then it would cover up a lot of this. But I'll move it down a little bit. Yeah, I like that. I like that. That needs to move. Okay, I know what we're doing. Okay. Anyway, hello to everyone. Like, just checking in. I would have done this video way. I got on so many random little tangents again today. Is what it is. Is what it is. Okay. Doop. 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 So put some glue on the back of that. Just like so. Get the lid on there. Oh. Your winter residences? Yeah, I would love to have a winter residence in Hawaii. I can't even imagine. We're not at that level, you know. I may be CEO, but not that kind of CEO.
Yeah.
Sadly.
More like a garbage pile CEO.
Garbage pile CEO. Yeah, I'm the CEO of the garbage pile. Yeah, pretty much. Considering what a disaster this space is in, it is basically, I am the CEO of the garbage pile.
I am the CEO of my personal space, and that's about it.
Yep. Yep. Yeah, sadly, it doesn't come with a CEO's paycheck.
No.
Kinda wish it would. It'd be really nice, man. Like, yeah. I just watched Zoolander again recently. I haven't watched that movie in years. Yeah, Chris and I keep like it keeps randomly coming up, and I'm like, okay, we need to like actually sit down and watch it because I have not seen it in so many years. Such a stupid movie, and I love it. I love it. I love it. What is this? A school for ants?
It's gotta be at least 5 times as big. He's right.
Good times. Good times. Okay. Our sentiment adhered. And then we got some crystal clear confettis just for a little bling. Gotta have a little bling going on. Not much. Let's hold the stick. Stick a few of those on here. Yeah, I am happy with this, considering how cruddy I have felt the last however long. This is... I'm glad the idea in my head wasn't a total disaster. Okay. Stick that one. And since I've gone on many tangents, and people have asked this, one of these days, maybe I'll do a dedicated video. I make no promises. I got too many things like bling placement. I get asked that a lot. Like, how do you make it look good? And I understand the question. I do, because I remember when people first started using little sequins and things, because these weren't always around with card making. And I was like, basically, here, this will work. Okay. So, one, odd numbers. Odd numbers always look better. So it's like you have, but if you have an odd number, it just looks better. And then triangles also. So you can see here, that's a triangle. This is just a little on an angle, but it's odd numbers. So 3, 5. If I wanted to add a couple more, I would probably place one, say like, tuck it in over here, because again, a triangle. And then the other big thing too is different sizes. That's why I always, and I've whined about this directly to brands when they release things, and I'm like, more sizes. Stop it. I don't want, like, if they were all. So let's remove these. Let's do all of them in the exact same size, and you'll see what I mean. So right there, that doesn't look as nice. Let's take those off. It's not horrible. It's not, but it's just not as pleasing when they're the exact same size. So I usually will do, like, especially in like a little triangle formation, I'll do a large, a medium, and a small. And it just looks so much better. And then with my remaining two, it's, I'm doing a large and a small. Sometimes it's a medium and a small. It doesn't really matter. I mix up the sizes. So hopefully that kind of helps a bit. And then, yeah, you just kind of tuck them in different spots, kind of offset. Like, yeah, it's a triangle, but I'll place, 2 a little closer to each other, kind of offsets. They're not in the exact same spot, like dirt, dirt, dirt. You don't want them to be like that. You want to move things around and have them like this, have them like that, because it's so much more pleasing to the eye than. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. So yeah, odd numbers, triangles. That's kind of, and that is the basic rules. once you kind of understand that and you get used to it, I break them all the time. Like odd numbers, I'll break that. I usually still aim for odd numbers because it just does look better. But sometimes it's like, I'm going to tuck one in here, and it ends up being like 8. Who cares? Honestly, because if I give a card to someone and they're like, you put 8? I mean, like, you're never getting another card from me again, because seriously? So, yeah, I hope that makes sense. It's sometimes hard to explain the thought process because it's something that I've done for so many years that I don't even think about it while I'm doing it. But and then generally either like a neutral, another color that would look really pretty is obviously a pink would look really pretty. In this case, I'm not going for gold because I didn't use anything gold on this card. If I'd done my sentiment gold and added some gold splatter, I would have added gold bling, you know? So, yeah, it's just a matter of knowing what looks pleasing to the eye and then figuring out what you personally like too. Because even though I say all these things, you do whatever works for you. And whatever you think looks nice, that's all that matters. You know, if you've made it and put it together and you're happy with it, who cares? Who cares? So I adhere it with little dabs of craft tacky glue. The glue will dry clear, so these will actually end up being a little more see-through once these are like fully dry. And yeah, that's the card. I did it. And I didn't have a coughing fit, and shockingly, I'm scared to say it. We haven't had any tech issues. I'm shooketh. But let me, actually, I'm scared to even zoom. I'm scared to press any buttons, so I'll just do it like this. There's the card. Let's do that with the Distress Watercolor pencils. And then the background and the splatter. And then on the inside, we got that. And then, yeah, Chris will pick a winner for this card, and I will mail it out to the winner. Yeah. So yeah, thank you guys for hanging out with me. Yeah, hopefully I am feeling better than I was. Like this past week has been rough. Like rough. Again, the joys of being your own CEO. I don't get sick pay, time off, vacations, anything like that. It just is what it is. But let me switch back to, there we go. Blarg.
Got the winner.
You got the winner. Who's the winner?
Diane Lehner from Sun City, Florida.
Diane Lehner.
Yeah.
Lehner in Florida. So congratulations. I will mail. Lanier. Lanier. Okay. I'll get this mailed out most likely this week. I've been getting better at mailing out the cards to the winners. I mailed out last week's live. Last week I mailed them out. I got them sent out. And then yeah, I will have this one hopefully sent out this week. That's the plan. It'll just depend on how I'm feeling. Right now I'm feeling okay. So oh, do you ever put glue so the bow does not untie? Rarely. Honestly, I only do it when it is a metallic type of a thread. Then I'll use glue because I don't use metallic threads very often, especially not to tie them, because metallic threads are slippery. The last card, I forget when, it was recent though. It was not too long ago. I did cards and I used like a metallic thread, and the amount of editing I had to, I edited out a lot of it because trying to tie with metallic thread, they just have a slip to them. I usually like doing like little nests of metallic threads and putting them behind things. So stuff like that, if it's or if it's a coated type of twine or something that it's just not staying immediately, but like baker's twine stays. The only way that bow is coming undone is if someone's gonna pull on it, and if they're gonna pull on it, that's on them. Like I'm not gonna deal with it. But yeah, things like that, yeah, I'll add like a little dab of glue kind of behind it, that sort of a thing, just to hold it in place. It was a Waffle Flower card that I did. That's what it was. And I used some metallic thread, I think, and I tied it in a bow, and oh, it was a nightmare. But I was determined and I made it work. So, yeah, but for the rest of it, like this, what I do, like these type of thing, I never add adhesive. It's tight enough. The bow is good. You would have to like intentionally undo it. And if someone's intentionally trying to take the card apart, well, that again, that's on them. That's the winners of my cards. If you want to like lick the cards or pull them apart or whatever, like that's on you. I'm not, don't lick the artwork, but once it's out of my possession, I don't worry about it. Because that is another thing that gets brought up quite often, especially in card making, is, some people get very hung up on the recipients, what they're going to do with the card. Are they going to appreciate the card enough, etc.? And genuinely, I make cards for me. I make them because I enjoy the process. And I do sometimes also enjoy making cards specifically for another person. I make cards for Chris or my kids or friends or things like that. And I will do themes or colors or whatever that person likes. But even then, once the card is out of my possession, I don't worry about it. I don't worry about it. I'm not going to place expectations on them. I do not expect them to like have them all on display and keep them forever or any of that, because it's like I already got the enjoyment out of the process of making it and the enjoyment of giving it, and that's where it ends. I don't worry about it after that. Like I just don't. So that's my 2 cents on that. I see it a lot, and like people rightfully getting really upset when they see someone, you give them a card and like actually seeing them, like their reaction was just like, or they throw it out or something. Like some people can be really rude. In those cases, and it's happened to me, that people have just been very dismissive or whatever about a card that I sometimes have spent a ridiculous amount of time, and especially if I've like ordered product for it, card making ain't cheap. But in those cases, I just stopped making that person cards. It's like, okay, you get a dollar store card from now on. If you're going to be a jerk about it, and outwardly so, I'm just not going to make you cards anymore. So it is just that sort of a thing. But it does when someone is like that to your face, or you find out about it, a coworker chucked your card in the trash, that sort of a thing. It's like it's smart. It's not fun. So it's like those are the people you just don't make cards for anymore. You know? But for the rest of it, I make cards. I make it for me. It's I enjoy it. This is what I like to do. And then I give it, and then I just don't worry about it. So, anyway, um yeah, when they read it and then throw it out in front of you, at least wait until they read it. Yeah, that would hurt. That would hurt. And those are the ones that it's like, yeah, I would never make that person a card again then, because it's like if you are that dismissive, you're either getting a dollar store card or just a folded piece of copy paper, if that. Because it's like if you're just it's so rude. It's so rude. So yeah, some people just suck, and yeah, non card makers don't get it, obviously, because they're not sitting here like we are putting all the time and effort in. But even if they're not, it because it's not just card making. Like I've seen discussion too, like people getting just absolutely irate over like so and so charges X amount of money, like hundreds of dollars for a quilt, and so, this person's like so outward, like how dare they charge that? And it's like, excuse you? You have any idea how much time, effort, how expensive fabric is? Like, but it's like those are the people that go buy something again from like some discount store then, whatever. But a lot of people are just, it all kind of also comes back to, and it's been in existence since before, but what we were talking about earlier was social media, and people only seeing the end result and not seeing all the effort that goes into it. But it kind of applies to a lot of things. Like people just don't stop and think. And even if it's not a handmade card, you know, Because I've had that over the years, like people telling me in my own life that they didn't want to give me a card because I make cards. So as if like I'm too good for them like to buy me a card. And I was like, I would love a card. It doesn't have to be handmade. You can go to the store, even if it's a dollar store card. If you're getting me a card, taking the time to put a message in it, you know, and putting it with whatever, or just giving me a card and saying, hey, you're awesome, whatever. I love it. I appreciate it. It's like you were thinking of me. You took time out of your day to think of me. It's the same thing with like the comments in the chat or below. It's like you took time out of your day to type something, you know, and left it on my videos or my Instagram or my Facebook, wherever. And it's like, I appreciate that. I appreciate people putting time in because time is super freaking important. That is the one resource we have a finite amount of. So when people take, whether it's a small amount or a big amount of time, I appreciate it. That's more than anything. So there's my other little rant for the day. Yeah, I'm just reading your guys' comments, and yes, yeah. You know, I kind of was shocked. I had someone who said that, and it was like someone very close to me. This was many years ago. But they're just like, why would I buy you a card? Like, you make cards, and like, and the way it was said really stuck with me because they were being a jerk. Because they're just like, you wouldn't appreciate. And I was like, why are you assuming my reaction or to something that hasn't even happened? Biggest pet peeve of mine. I hate when people do that. It's like, why are you literally assuming something, assuming a reaction, assuming an outcome that has not happened specifically from me. And it's like, how do you know what my reaction would be? Because yes, if you bought me a store-bought card and I was like, ew, what is this trash? Then I wouldn't deserve another one. Oh, people. So anyway. Oh my goodness. Yeah. But anyway. Well, it depends, you know. Sometimes it's truth and sometimes it is just my very, very personal, petty opinion. It just depends. But on that note, again, thank you guys for joining me in the, you know, Chris mentioned it. He's not here now. He's done his work. He's done his work. He's actually probably going to start cooking supper soon, which yes. Chris mentioned it. He's like, you're like the second most popular show on right now. I was like, sure. So thank you guys for joining me in the second most popular show of what's going on today. Ridiculousness. But I appreciate it. Whether it's today of all days or any other Sunday, you know, that I go live and you guys putting up with the chaos, my pettiness, the tech issues, whatever. This one has worked. I'm legit shocked. I think it's because I didn't press any buttons. Maybe if I like don't really press buttons, it'll work for now. We'll see. I don't know. But yeah. I'm glad that you guys enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. And yeah, I do. Thank you, Leon. Yeah, no, this worked. Considering how much lives drain me, I love doing them. I love hanging out with you guys and like, I love doing the lives, but on the back end of it, it is unbelievably just stressful, kind of, but a different kind of stress. It's weird when you have a live audience, you know, and there's a lot, and there's people watching, and we're live, and there's tech, and I'm like, I gotta perform, and I can't edit this, and I say things that are inappropriate, you know, like it's just it's a lot. It's like really stressing me out. But I've been feeling. I think maybe because maybe today I set my expectations at the very bottom because I was like, I'm sick. I don't feel good. I got a cold. Everything sucks. Wah. But yeah, maybe I need to start doing that more often. It's just set my expectations like at the bottom of the barrel before I go live, and then I'll just be like, great. uh, but yeah. thank you, Kathy. I appreciate it. I do. I appreciate it. Um, so yeah, I do appreciate you guys just hanging out with me. It means a lot. It does. I like it. I like that people enjoy watching my videos. It still blows my mind some days that people enjoy my content and my ridiculous personality, because I know I'm not I don't appeal to everybody. Like I know my personality. I'm not for everyone. But yeah, you know, we're building a little group here, and I'm quite enjoying it. You know, you guys are getting to see the more, I was gonna say the more real side of me, but it's not like even in my edited videos. That's so me. Like I don't fake it. I can't fake it to save my life. I can't. I can't at all. Like I could be a lot more successful if I could be a lot more perky, I guess. I don't know how you want to call it, but I can't do it, man. I suck. I suck at that. This is what you see is what you get. So, yeah. Um, hmm. Yeah, like my kids haven't been feeling good. I've been trying to keep like a distance from everyone while I've been going through this, because it's just I don't want anyone to have, like Chris had it first. Like I said earlier, it's his fault. It literally is. He had it first. His was not near as bad as mine. Like I got hit by a freight train, and it sucked. But and the kids got it. Everyone's just been like, but everyone is bouncing back. I am mostly still feel like I just, but way better, way better. I couldn't have done this live like yesterday at all. Like I was not in a good place. Wah. So anyway, um, yeah, it's true, and people should be themselves. It's I get why some um online, and we talked about that earlier with social media. You know, people that make a persona or whatever it is. Like I get it, but it is a lot harder, in my opinion, to maintain a false sense of whatever, whether it's false personality, a false lifestyle, or just there's so many things. You know, people like fake it till you make it. Even that, I've never liked that phrase. I've never liked that attitude in that sense. I've never liked that, because I was like, why? Why not just be yourself? Why not just be honest to yourself and to those around you of what life is like, or what you're going through, or just all of it? I was like, I don't get it. I don't get it. I was like, please explain it to me like I'm 5. Like, fake what till you make what? Like, you know. So that's just how I feel. And yeah. You guys, this is all gonna go to my head. And yeah, I'm not always the greatest with card making. Well, I'm not the greatest with card making regardless. But sometimes, like when I'm sick or I'm not feeling whatever, like sometimes my cards are just a little bit like, is what it is. I'm fine with it. But it's funny how sometimes, even when I'm feeling like crap, like this whole week, all the cards I've been posting this last week, like I have not been feeling good. But it's like the ideas are still there. It's still working. Although, if I'm going to be completely honest, some of it has been fueled by petty rage against just some of the ridiculous troll crap I have to put up with, like the rainbow cards. I got a little rainbow troll that just really doesn't like the rainbows, so I just, when I'm really feeling it, I make extra rainbow cards.
Nothing wrong with that.
There is nothing wrong with that. Because nothing fuels me more than just my personal petty hate, but at the same time, the person deserves it. So I come up with some of my best work when I am being just extra petty, a little extra spicy. I'm just gonna, uh, well, thank you, Pauline. I appreciate it. Oh, and yes, diversity is 100% where it's at. Do you ever get fangirled? Oh, that's a story. Well, not a story in your own community. Um, it's happened, not very often. It's like people have made comments on things like, oh, like they would love to get a card, or me responding to a comment, and they respond with like, oh my god, like, and I get that, I understand it, but being able to attend my first like in-person event when I went to create last year, that was something else. It was it was it was a lot. It was very, very overwhelming because I've talked about this. I have severe, like nearly crippling social anxiety. You guys wouldn't like, and people are so shocked because they're like, "You're here." I'm sitting in front of a camera, like I am looking at a camera. There's no one here, other than when Chris comes in and out of the room. Like there is no one around. I know there's an audience. I know you guys are watching, but it's easy to remove that. Like I don't have physical human beings sitting in front of me. And that's how it is and how it's been for many years. But I have severe social anxiety. Like, just thinking about like getting up in front of a crowd. That said, we all love card making. So I went to create, and there's hundreds of people there. Met so many wonderful people. Not only do I have severe social anxiety, I am also very not I do not like physical touch from other people. Like I don't like hugging, like people wanting, some people are like, hugs. I don't like that. I'm just like, no. Space bubble, stay out of mine. However, there's something so different being at an event like that where you are surrounded by people that get you, you know? Everyone there was card makers. Everyone there loved to make cards and craft in that way. And I gave more hugs. Like I gave hugs. Like people were hugging me, but I gave hugs to people. Like went up to people and just like bear hugged. I've never done that in my life. It was weird, but it was wonderful. Anyway, and yeah, there was a few that just total fangirl. It was just a weird experience. It was really fun. And everyone was like, there were so many, like, were so nice. They were so sweet, and just, it was honestly adorable. It really was. Cause I'm like, again, I am not a somebody. Like, I'm just me. Like, what the, it's just me. Like, whatever. Um, but yeah, it was really cute. And I got such a kick out of it because I was there with my friend Ricky Bromero Cards, and my friend Christy. And there were many times where I was like, because like when we're freaking out over Ricky, which just, I kind of love that because it's like I could just kind of hide, or I would just sneak off and let him deal with it. I was like, it was just easier that way. So it was a lot of fun. And I am gonna go again. Oh, you mean where I live? Yes, not necessarily fangirled. I have had people, and it doesn't happen very often. It's happened a couple times, and like one very local when we met someone, and they just kept looking at me, and then we were just talking to her, and she was like, "I know who you are. Like I watch your YouTube," and it just came out of the blue, and I was like, "Dude, that's no weird," because it's like I'm not a personality. But I did run into a lovely subscriber in the city a couple times. The first time she never said anything to me, but she was looking at me funny. And I mentioned it in a Facebook Live, and she was watching. She was like, "That was me." And I was like, "Okay, I'm not crazy." I was like, I felt like, and I will not go up to anyone in public because I was like, I don't know. It's all in my head. I think like, I was like, I was literally asking Chris. I remember I was like, "Do I have something on my face?" Because he was with me that day. And I was like, "Do I have something on my face?" He's like, "No, you're fine." I was like, "Okay." I was like, "She's looking at me. I don't understand what's happening," because I'm like, I'm nobody. I'm nobody. And yeah, so she made that comment, and then I ran into her again, actually at a different business, and she introduced herself, and it was really sweet. And I was like, okay, I'm not crazy. This is great. Wonderful. Anyway, so yeah, it doesn't happen very, because also I don't go anywhere. I don't leave my house very often. I just, I just don't. I work all the time and I just don't go anywhere. So it doesn't really happen to me. So yeah, it would be. I was one of those fangirl. That's that's cute. Love it. But yeah, I am going to create before I like end this. I am going to create this year. It's in May. They haven't announced it because people have been asking. They have not announced classes, anything. It's for those that aren't aware. It's through Simon Says Stamp. It's in Columbus, Ohio, and this year it's in May. If you Google like create 2020, like Simon Says Stamp create or Simon Says create 2024, there'll be a post that'll come up. Just the dates have been announced. No other info yet because there's like classes and there's all kinds of stuff. But there's nothing publicly announced yet. I have no idea, but I am going. That's as far as I have info for that I'm going to attend, and it's gonna be fun. It was chaos last year, literal chaos, but it was still a lot of fun. Like I'm looking forward to it. I'm not as anxious as I was like last year. Like literally, the amount of times I nearly went home. Like wanted to call, change my flights, and go straight home. Like I had full on. I'm not. If I'm being honest, I had a full on panic attack. Nearly had a full on meltdown. Sobbed so many just because again social anxiety, and it's a lot, and there's a lot of people and just so many things, and I don't know what to expect, and I was a mess. I was a mess. It was bad, but I survived. I survived, and yeah, now that I kind of know what I'm doing, I can fly. I can get on a plane by myself and make it there and do the things. We can do hard things. So yeah, I appreciate you guys. I think it'll be a lot of fun, and I'm not feeling like this time last year. My anxiety was bad. Like I was just like, oh, because even like flying, I've barely done that, especially by myself. Last year I was lucky because Mari Clark, who's another fabulous maker, she actually lives near me. She was going, and I followed her like a puppy dog. Like she showed me how to get through the airport, everywhere to go, all the things. Like I would have been lost in some random country, guaranteed, if I had been completely on my own. So now it's like I know what to do. I'm like so professional. So it'll be good. But uh didn't Ricky get you drunk? Ricky. Yeah, the last night at Create, a big group of us went to the pub, and it was fun. It was really fun. I had a great time. I will never drink that much again. I know my limits, and Ricky yeah, and he knows. He knows. I still, oh yeah, my glass kept magically refilling. Just by magic. Thanks to Ricky. We had it was great. But flying internationally with a hangover from hell, yeah, it was me and Mari Clark, and Cheryl Espy is another amazing creator. She does a lot with Pink Fresh and whatnot. But Cheryl Espy was sitting beside me on the first flight back, and I was, oh, I don't wish that on anyone. It was torture. It was torture. So yeah, it was a lot, but I did it, and I don't know. I forced myself. It's not easy, and because I understand social anxiety. I understand social anxiety. Like I live with it. It is a part of me. Um, I have forced myself, and actually, card making is one of the biggest things that got me over a lot of it. In bits and pieces, but it's still there, and it's not pretty, and it really sucks. And yeah, I just didn't even give myself a chance to think about it. Like, I'm for sure going to Create. I didn't even, the minute it was announced, I booked my flights. I was like, I'm not going to overthink this. Like, I went and did it. Because I was like, no going back. I'm doing it. We're going. I'm going. I'm gonna, even though I messaged Mari the other day and I was like, are you going? Because I was hoping I could, can you babysit me again? But I'm not sure yet if she's going. So it's like, I'm gonna go on my own. We'll see. We'll see. I'm in Saskatchewan. So, yeah, there was a lot of people. It was a learning experience even for like the Simon Says Stamp team because way more people showed up than they were expecting. It was nuts. Like we broke fire codes the first day because there was too many people, and they expanded everything else, and they always do. Like they're amazing about like taking in the feedback and pivoting and expanding and fixing and making it better. So I think this year is going to be even better. It's going to be awesome, I'm sure. And do you know if they've announced it'll be in the same venue? They haven't announced it yet. All they've announced so far is the dates and that it's in Columbus. So May, don't quote me, but I'm pretty it's May 9th to 11th, I think. Something. But that's so far the only event I'm for sure gonna go to. There's more and more. A lot of places doing like virtual events and that sort of thing, which is great too. I've never been able to attend any events until last year was the first one I ever like got to attend because I got a lot of kids. We're in Saskatchewan. Flights are unbelievably expensive. And yeah, we've been just slowly working towards making it work so that I could go. And, I have just a separate little travel fund that I just have been setting aside into for years to be able to do this. And for me, it's very much worth it. There's something about the energy being with all these people that just, again, that just get it. We're all super excited. We're all having fun. And everyone just gets it. It's like you look. It's like that person gets it. That person gets it. That person gets it. It's like we're just having fun. I love it. I absolutely love it. So yeah, there were a lot of people there. Oh well, thank you, Anita. Yeah, it's just one of those things. So that said, those that are watching, and we'll be talking about this more when the time gets closer because like there'll be more info questions, people asking me, blah, blah, blah. So we'll talk about this more in future lives, future randomness, whatever. But always to those that see me out in the wild, just say hi. You can come up to me. I don't bite usually, you know. But I will never approach anyone ever. Like I'm just like no, no. But if someone comes up to me, it's just like I will always like say hello. And at events like that specifically, can totally come up to me for a hug and all that kind of stuff. I'm okay. I can do it. And it was fun. It was really fun. Like, yeah, yeah. So it was great. Anyway, I'm gonna end this now. We've chatted for a good, uh, yeah, in the wild. You never know. You never know. You might be out hiking somewhere and come across. No, you won't. You won't. I'm gonna be, in here generally most days where nobody else is, and I'm okay with that. Um, th- Thank you, Kathy. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you. Um, but yeah, it's up here. There is a lot of card makers in my area. I know there are like a crafty, scrapbooky card making people. Um, but yeah, I keep to myself. I'm weird like that. Um, she only bites if you say yeah. Pretty much. Pretty much. I might actually have to just like, you know, who knows? Who knows? Uh, I got a kick out of that. Yeah. No, I get it. I think I can't speak to. Actually, no. Well, I can say this. If someone was to see me out in public, and if it's just me or me and Chris, I am 100%. I would totally be okay with that person coming up if they recognized me and they just wanted to say hello. I'm fine with that, 100%. You would just have to say like, "Oh, I watch you on YouTube" or something, because I'd be like, "Who's this rando? Why?" And again, I'd be like, "Do I have something on my face?" If I am with my children, I would not be okay with it. That sort of like that. When it's like that sort of stuff, I would be very uncomfortable. Um, But again, I don't go out that much, so and it's not like I'm so famous in that sense, like that. But this is also why I keep everything else like offline. Um, but yeah, like it's just one of those things, and it's because again, I see that sometimes online is like famous people getting approached and like they're out with their kids and fans getting weird and in their space and it's like unsafe, that sort of thing. But it's like I'm not. I'm a nobody. I'm a nobody. So anywho, that's my thoughts. As always, thank you guys. Do that sort. There we go. Kind of angle it. Thank you guys for hanging out with me and for tuning in while I sound like crap and all the support. And yeah, I will do the photos and the social medias and the blog posts and yada 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 for the card that I made, which this will stay up on replay, so those that missed the beginning, it'll all be there. And yeah, I'll get that done and then just stay tuned. I do have a lot of videos coming this week, as always. And I think that's it. I appreciate you guys. I had a good little chat, and I'll see you guys soon in the next video.